Okay, so I might have mentioned this in my previous video, but I've never actually had anywhere to put this rifle. So what I wanted to do is build a custom display. So this is what I've done really, and I've not tried to invent the wheel here. Obviously Hollywood Collectibles have come up with a similar design, so I've replicated that in many ways with the slots and cutouts and cutouts. I think it worked quite well because all the cutouts kind of resembled elements on the gun, with all the cutouts in various places on the gun. So I think it worked quite well. So I've copied a similar kind of design. The main thing that I wanted to do with this wall plaque is to encompass the whole of the gun. With the Hollywood Collectibles version, it was quite a bit smaller, so the gun actually was actually outside of the wall plaque. It was actually larger than the actual display, so I wanted to make sure that it fitted the whole of the gun, even with part of the stock extended. So what you've got here is 10mm black acrylic with all the various slots and cutouts which have been cut on a CNC routing machine that I use at work. And then bonded to that, as you can see, I've got this metal plate, which is kind of a copper or bronze finished metal plate, and that is bonded onto the acrylic. So as you can see, when I actually move this from side to side, you can see that kind of sheen. It's got a brushed finish metallic. Not sure if you can pick that up on the video. Maybe there. Yeah, so you can see that brushed finish. It's a very simple design, so all I've actually made is a 75mm by 75mm bracket which screws straight to the wall, and then the whole of the wall display slides over that bracket. There's actually a slot in this material just at the top here, so it then slides over, and then I've got these rubber bungs which serve as two purposes. The first one is that it holds the wall mount in place, it stops it from sliding forward, and then of course the gun then rests on these rubber bungs. The other thing I wanted to incorporate on this, and I'd been thinking about this for almost a year on how I wanted this to look and what information I wanted on here. And originally I was thinking, well, I'll put the obvious choice of just putting Aliens 1986 and some information about the film, and then I thought, well, no, I'm not too sure about that. So then I was going along the lines of maybe putting up some information about the M41A pulse rifle. And then I decided that, well, what would probably be a good idea is if I use this as some kind of ID tag. So my original plan was to actually do Hicks. He seemed the obvious choice. But in light of Bill Paxton's death, I thought that this would be a nice tribute if I did this as William Hudson. So I've put this design together, and I've put like a watermark in the background, which is probably difficult to see, but you've got like a repetition of the W watermarked into the background, and then some information about William Hudson. So this is a high-res print with a satin lamination, and it's mounted on some 5mm acrylic. And what I've done is that I've just left a bead of the gloss black edging around it, so it kind of frames the picture. So that is what you end up with. Oh, another thing I wanted to mention as well, I got my price completely wrong in the last video. I said to everyone that I'd paid £120. That was a mistake. I paid £120 for a couple of other things that I'd picked up, so I really apologise for that. If you want to purchase one of these tend to be a fraction under about £300, and by the time you've included shipping, it's about £305, something like that, and that's what I paid. But I still stand with what I originally said, in that it's tremendous value for all the features that you've actually got on this weapon. So there you have it. There's the plaque, and there's the pulse rifle in all its glory. So there you go. There's the wall plaque. Looks pretty good in the room.